Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Hope all of you will be very fine and enjoying at your homes. Girls, like you have been receiving a lot of lessons from your teachers since it is the start of a new academics, like a new era in the academics online session. You have been introduced to the paper pattern and the syllabus in the introductory lecture. You people must be aware that in BSc you are going to have a question of translation that carries 15 marks, right? This question is very important as it can give you a lot of marks if you pay a bit of attention on it. How? Like from your book you will have 4 questions, out of which you will attempt 2, and each question will be of 10 marks. Now just realize that you pay so much attention to those 20 letters, to those 20 essays. Almost from 1 year you take 10 months to memorize and to make notes about those lessons, and you don't pay even a bit of attention to all those questions that are included in your exams, which can give you very good marks, and you can secure those marks by paying a very little attention. Out of these questions, translation is one of them, and the base of translation is the tense structure of any language, right? Today we are going to discuss about the tenses of English language. Basically we divide all the time span into three categories. Time is divided into 3 categories, as you can see on this slide. One is past. Like past is something which is past, right? Past. Future is the time span which has to come yet, and present is in fact a critical line between past and future. Now you can easily understand that there are 3 different spans of time: one which is past, one which is going to come, and one through which right now you are passing. Present is very short moment of time. You realize the things which just I have said, I told you, that have become a part of the past tense now, and still the words which I have to speak in the next few seconds, they are the part of near future. Present is in fact a very critical line between the past and future. Anyhow, these are the 3 different categories of the time, and we further divide these 3 categories into 4 subdivisions each, right? It means present tense is divided into 4 further categories, past tense is divided into 4 further categories, and same is the case with the future. Future is also divided into 4 other categories. Now what are these categories? As you can see on this slide, in the present tense there are 4 categories as present simple tense. Simple tense is also called present indefinite, right? Present indefinite. What does it call? What does it call? Present indefinite, right? And then you can present indefinite, number 1. Number 2, a present simple present or present indefinite. Second is present continuous. Third is present perfect continuous. And then present perfect continuous tense is the fourth subcategory of the present tense. Girls, are you watching and are you hearing? Yes, right. Tell me the names of 4 subdivisions of the present tense. Number 1, yes, simple present tense. Number 2, present continuous. Number 3, present perfect tense. And number 4, present perfect continuous tense. All these 4 subcategories have the same name in the past tense as well as in the future tense. In the past, you will also have past indefinite or simple past. You will also have past continuous. You will have past perfect, and you will have past perfect continuous tense. The same is the case with the future. You will have simple future tense, or that is also called a future indefinite tense. Then you will have future continuous. Then you will have future perfect continuous, and then future perfect the third is future perfect tense, and the fourth is future perfect continuous tense. Now let me tell you, okay, you have 4 different categories present in all these main groups of time. Like in present, all 4 categories are there. In past, all 4 categories are there, and in future all 4 categories are there. Now see, what is the thing that differentiate between present, past and future? It means कि what will be the words present in English language sentence that will tell us कि either this sentence belong to the present tense, or this sentence belong to the past tense, or it belongs to the future tense. Can you tell me? Anybody of you have the idea that which is the word present in parts of the speech that categorizes that to which tense this structure belongs? Verb, right. Verb is the word. Verb is the part of speech which tells us about a sentence that to which slot of time this tense or this sentence belongs, right? If the verb present in any sentence belongs to the present, or there will be first form of verb, or is, am, are will be there. It means कि helping verb plus verb will define the tense of that particular structure of that particular sentence, right? You understood it? Should we go to the next slide? Right, thank you. Coming to the next slide. Now here, like girls, pay attention please. Now you can see here I have given you, as I told you, कि verb is the main part of speech that defines that this sentence belongs to either present, past or future. Further, the subcategory of the present simple, past continuous, past perfect continuous, or future continuous, future perfect or future perfect continuous. The different forms of the verbs present here will define through which slot of time this sentence structure belongs, right? Now here in this chart you can see in simple present tense, when the time is of present and subcategory is of the simple, then what will be the helping verb? Helping verb will be is, am, are, right? These are the helping verbs, and it will take the first form of verb, and there will be addition of s and es in the singular. The most famous example is he goes to school, right? Here why you have added es? Why? Because this sentence belongs to the present simple or present indefinite. This is the only present indefinite or present simple tense is the single tense out of all these 12 sentences which takes first form of the verb in addition with s and es. This is the only tense which does not take any helping verb. It doesn't take is, am, are with its in its construction. Like here in this table, you must not write is, am, are in this square box, right? I have cut it, you can see it. It will take only verb plus s, addition of s or es with the first form of the verb. And the famous example I have given you, he goes to school or she goes to school, she eats her food, and this tense is used for describing our routine, universal truths, right? Now coming to the, we will complete all these tenses one by one. Today we are only going to have an idea of the different helping verbs and the forms of the verb that are used in different tenses. We will do them one by one in detail, and with them I will give you the different sentences in Urdu, and you will translate them into English according to this table, right? Now coming to the past simple or the past perfect tense, past simple or past indefinite tense. Past indefinite tense is the only tense that takes the second form of the verb. This is the only tense out of 12 tenses which take the second form of the verb. It takes the second form of the verb without any helping verb, right? Now see, in present simple or present simple or present indefinite, there is no helping verb and the first form of the verb is there. In past simple, there is, in the past simple or past indefinite, the second form of the verb is there and no helping verb. In the future, only will is present as a helping verb. And the first form of the verb will be there. Same is the coming to the continuous category. In the continuous category, we use is, am, are as helping verb, and we will use ing with the first form of the verb, that is called fourth form of the verb. What is the fourth form of the verb? Tell me, girls. This is also called ing form. It means कि first form of the verb verb plus ing is equal to fourth form of the verb, right? There is a mess on the board, but I hope you will pay attention to it while I am writing on it. Otherwise, if it will be the only table, you won't be getting it and you won't be absorbing it, right? Into the past continuous, you have helping verb was and verb, and you have fourth form of the verb, or that is first form of the verb plus ing. In the future continuous, the helping verb is will be, and you will have fourth form of the verb, that is first form plus ing. Now coming to the present perfect. In present perfect you use helping verb has and have, and then third form of the verb. In the past perfect you have had as helping verb and then third form of the verb. In the future you will have as a helping verb and third form of the verb. Now girls, see, in the perfect subcategory perfect you have third form throughout the time span. Either it is present perfect, or it is past perfect, or it is future perfect. You are going to have third form of the verb throughout the time span, but only the helping verb will change. Now coming to the present perfect continuous. In present perfect continuous you have has been, have been, plus verb, fourth form of the verb, that is ing, had been in the past, and in the future will had been as a helping verb. In the past you will have had been as a helping verb plus fourth form of the verb. Now you must have a question in your mind, कि in the has been and have been, what is the difference between past, what will be the difference between perfect and perfect continuous? The difference is that in perfect continuous, in this tense, in perfect continuous you have time span mentioned in the sentence, right? Time span must be mentioned in the perfect continuous. For example, it has been raining since morning. The use of since and for is done in the perfect continuous. Either it is present perfect continuous, or it is past perfect continuous, or it is future perfect continuous, right? Hopefully you people have absorbed these different helping verbs plus different forms of verb till now. For today I guess this is enough, because from the next lecture of grammar onward we will have each category of the tense plus its exercise in Urdu, that you will translate the sentences of Urdu into English. So be prepared for it and keep it in your mind, and try to write down the whole of this table on your neat notebooks, so that you must know from which category the Urdu sentence belongs to, and which sort of helping word, which type of helping verb I am going to use to make it correct, right? Hopefully you have absorbed it. Even if you have any question regarding this lecture, you can send it to me in my personal inbox. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.